Hi, and welcome back to another video. And today we'll be talking about the 2026 Senate and governor races for Michigan, and mostly Pete Buttigieg here, who has announced today that he will not be either running for the Michigan governor race or the Michigan Senate race, both races in 2026. However, CNN obviously putting in this title here that he's setting up a possible 2028 run. Now, we don't know. It is way too early to be making any 2028 predictions. You guys will not be seeing any 2028 predictions coming from my channel until we enter the year of 2028. That's one of my rules on this channel. That's why you guys have not seen any 2026 predictions, and that's why so far I've only been releasing 2025 governor election predictions. And you guys will see another one within a couple weeks here. But today, Pete Buttigieg announces that he will be not be running for Michigan Senate or governor. Now, in my opinion, this is an absolute gain for Democrats, as Pete was he would have been a very poor candidate to run in either of these races. But the Senate, obviously being the more important one, where Democrats right now in the minority, and they're looking forward to obviously taking back their majority. Now, as of right now, do I think they can do it? Absolutely not. No, it is not in the cards for them. They could get the most, being 48 to 49 seats. 49 seats, obviously being it's a loss for them. Well, it's not a loss, but it's big for them. Still, losing the majority by just one seat, but still gaining around 2 seats in the process, which would be very well for them. Obviously, the Republicans in that scenario would drop by 2 seats, back to 51 seats. And sure, it would be a smaller majority than what they won in 2024. But still, I think that as of right now, that's the Democrats' best chance. For the Senate would be winning 49 seats. Republicans obviously keeping on their seats and not losing any of their seats would probably be the best, because they obviously do not have an advantage as they did in 2022. They have a lot of vulnerable Republican senators in 2026, like Tom Tillis of North Carolina, or the one in I think it's somewhere in somewhere in England. But anyways, yeah, Pete Buttigieg not running for Senate or governor in Michigan, which, like I said before, helps the Democrats a lot. It helps the Democrats a lot because Pete is from a very unpopular administration, and he's not originally from Michigan, so him running would look like a carpetbagger, which would not only hurt Pete, but his entire campaign and the Michigan Democrats. He would be a very weak candidate, and I believe that if he was the nominee for either of these races, he'd probably lose to the Republican, or to whatever the Republican candidate would be. So I think him running helps out the Democrats a lot, and it really, it also helps them choose on more candidates for both the governor race and the Senate race. Pete was a very popular race that he was polled trailing some Republican candidate. Well, there wasn't like an exact Republican candidate, just any Republican that they put in place. For Pete, he would lose. He would lose and not be able to win. He would have been a very poor candidate, a very bad candidate, and I think the Democrats are grateful that he will not be running in 2026. But I do think that CNN is right here when they say that he's possibly setting up a run in the 2028 presidential election. But still, that is 3 years from now. And we still have a long time to go until we see what Pete does. Besides, he could announce a run in 2027 for the presidential election. Or maybe he runs for, Senate or governor, or maybe he runs for, some congressional House race in 2028 after the 2026 election. So we don't know. We don't know. It is way, way too early to making those predictions. And, it's still only a matter of time to see what happens. But I have his statement up here for you guys where he announced on Twitter, while my own plans don't include running for office in 2026, I remain intensely focused on consolidating, communicating, and supporting a vision for this alternative. The decisions made by elected leaders matter entirely because of how they shape our everyday lives. And the choices made in these years will decide the American people's access to freedom, security, democracy, and prosperity for the rest of our lifetimes. So you have Pete here, kind of announcing that he will not be running for governor or Senate, which, like I said, helps the Democrats in ways where they are able to prop up in both the governor race and the Senate race in Michigan politics. that wouldn't be as poor or unpopular from Pete, since Pete comes from this unpopular administration, and I'm sure voters who voted for Donald Trump, who may have voted for Elisa Slotkin's opponent, would remember Pete and would remember Biden's unpopular administration and how poorly and unfavorably they viewed the administration. And Pete would probably be, not a candidate they'd be willing to vote for. So I do believe that Pete's stepping aside and not running in any of these elections for 2026 helps the Democrats out very much, and it benefits them entirely. Now, I don't think it hurts the Republicans at all, especially because we haven't seen any of the nominees. We've barely seen any polling. And I still think that, it's anybody's game. As of right now, I don't think the Republicans are guaranteed to lose any of these races. However, if Donald Trump's presidency gets any more unpopular or even more unpopular, I mean, I've shown you guys constantly that 8-point dip that we have constantly been seeing for Trump's approval rating, that if that gets any more worse, then Republicans could be in trouble. They could be in trouble for 2026. However, Donald Trump right now has a tiny, his disapproval rating has a tiny lead as of right now on Real Clear Politics, which I will be showing in another video in the future, obviously, but still. As of right now, I think this dropping out helps the Democrats out, but doesn't exactly hurt Republicans in the way that the average Democrat would probably want it to. So, there you have it. Pete Buttigieg announcing that he will not be running, and we will see where this goes from here. Who might actually run. And we'll see if Pete endorses anybody in these races. Now, he's not from Michigan, and that's probably why he's not running. He had this meeting with the Senate Democrat leader, Chuck Schumer, where I'm assuming Chuck Schumer probably told him not to run and that he'd probably not be a good candidate, which I agree with that. But yeah, we'll see where this goes. We'll see if Pete endorses anybody, and if any of that happens, I'll be making videos on it, and we will be seeing what happens. But anyways, that is the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.